Every year we see saws pull out these monster grease globs out of the sewage, and they're typically caused by people flushing things down the commode that they really shouldn't flush down the commode. We have a couple of San Antonians who have come up with a product that, believe it or not, it's so unique, and it's designed to really eliminate and prevent these clogs. Jessica Olay, Brandon Karam, thanks for joining me. Tell me about your product first.
Well, so our product is called Pristine. It is a liquid that's in a reusable and recyclable bottle. And what you do is you take Pristine and you spray it onto regular dry toilet paper. Any brand will work. There's no special brand of toilet paper you need. And what it does is it moistens the toilet paper, and you can see it doesn't tear or rip or anything.
Like a wet wipe.
So it gives you that same hygienic, great feel as a wet wipe, but it's just dry toilet paper, so it's actually flushable. It's not going to clog pipes. It's not going to damage your septic system, and it's not going to cause those downstream issues that saws often sees.
Does it help the toilet paper disintegrate or dissolve?
So the toilet paper, no, it's actually designed to sit on top of the toilet paper at first, because it's got some coconut oils and apricot oil to help moisten the toilet paper. But then once it's actually in the sewer system, that water is going to do what it normally does with toilet paper and disintegrate. And so it's not going to disintegrate in your hand, but once it's downstream, it is.
So I asked you this earlier. I mean, you guys have no background in chemical engineering or anything like this. You're both attorneys. How do you come up with this? I mean, at what point did you go, hey, I got a great idea?
Like with a lot of entrepreneurial journeys, Pristine was born out of necessity. So Brandon and I were both having major issues with wet wipes. We had learned the hard way that the flushable wipes are not necessarily flushable and shouldn't be flushed. Actually, we both clogged our plumbing by flushing wet wipes. I experienced a massive sewage backup and overflow into my entire yard. And it was kind of at that moment where we both thought, this doesn't work. We need something else. We can't be using wet wipes any longer. What else is there? So we started looking, and there was nothing. There was nothing on the mainstream market that would do the same thing a wipe would do for the hygienic reasons, but not clog the plumbing or the city sewer systems.
So, but how do you come up with the formula, whatever? I mean, a lot of people will just think, well, why don't you just dampen the toilet paper, whatever. Mm-hmm. But you've come up with some kind of formula that makes it easier.
Yes, it works with the toilet paper. So with zero background in formulation and chemistry and all of the things that you would need to make this, Brandon and I just kind of ignored all those things. As true entrepreneurs at heart, we just literally sat down at our kitchen tables. We grabbed ingredients that we knew were safe, stuff that you could get on the shelves at a grocery store. That you recognize the names, witch hazel, aloe, the things that you recognize. We started mixing them in bottles. And just little bitty bottles, we would add a few drops of this and that.
Get out.
Yes.
Really?
Very, very truly. I mean, we put on hair nets, we got plastic gloves. Like, we went through the whole thing to make us feel professional, even though we, probably weren't as experienced as people doing it for a living. But we mixed a whole bunch of prototypes, came up with something that was working for us. It was working with our toilet paper. It was doing the job it should. So then we took this and we made about 500 bottles and then went and begged our family and friends to try it.
And they looked at you like, sure, I'll try that.
I think that actual us starting to do it first is what led to such a clean product, because we didn't know all of the big chemical names that a lot of cosmetic products have in them. We just were two normal people, so we thought, hey, witch hazel cleans, hey, coconut oil and apricot oil moisturize. So we had this common knowledge, and then so when you look at our ingredient label, it is just a long list of things that you're probably going to recognize. Whereas a lot of the products you're going to see are going to have extra stuff, things, chemicals, preservatives that you might not recognize. And so I think it actually ended up being to our benefit that we just said, hey, let's just mix some stuff together that we know is safe.
How do you find time to do this, though? You're both attorneys, right?
Yes, and we were both practicing full time at the time. It was very much a side hustle for us at first. I mean, we would do our day jobs, we would come home at night and work until the wee hours of the morning trying to figure these things out and trying to take it very seriously, because the idea wouldn't have gone anywhere if we would have, just pretended that it was something we did in our spare time. We had to make time for it.
So you ended up on Shark Tank. I can see Mark Cuban's face right now when you come out and you explain what you have. He's like,
that's exactly what his face looked like.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that. I mean, we were so fortunate to be selected for Shark Tank, and we were excited, and we were preparing and practicing our pitch, because on Shark Tank, it is a pitch to potential investors.
Right.
There's no cuts, there's no startovers. I mean, you pitch your business, they ask you questions, and when you're done with that pitch, you leave the stage. So it's very much live, and it's very much reality on stage. But we were excited about it, and then we realized, wait a minute, we're walking on a stage with 5 very successful billionaires, and we're going to tell them how they need to be cleaning their backsides.
It was. We were.
hey,
right
everybody has
for-
to be taught.
Right?
No, we were. There was a lot of jokes that could have been had. We could have. We were terrified because we thought we were just starting, so we didn't have a ton of sales. It was a kind of a wild idea, and we thought, well, we could easily be laughed off stage. And so we prepared a ton, and we're so excited when they were jokey. They liked the idea. They saw the need for the idea, which is something we hadn't really expected. We thought that they would say, why do we need this? But thankfully, they all recognized the need because they had heard of some of the similar problems.
Did they buy in?
Oh.
No, I'm not asking how much, but
Yes.
did they go, yeah, I'll give you whatever?
We got an onstage deal with one of the sharks.
No
and
kidding.
We did. It was a really exciting thing. It was one of the sharks that we had kind of thought would be a good partner for us, and we worked with that shark for a little bit. Not actually with the deal we had made on stage, but just in other ways. And then, very friendly, we parted ways after probably about 9 months. And so we got the benefit of learning from the sharks, hearing what they had to say, getting some great poop puns from them, and then working on some level with the shark that we had partnered with, and then we were able to keep all of our ownership in the company, which was huge for us.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, you don't want to give it away if it's yours, So you guys are also working with Saws, is that correct? They cooperated in any way with you, or?
We learn a lot from Saws, so we don't.
Well, that's what I mean. Not
yes.
that they're investing in it, but.
Oh, right. Yes. I mean, we've spoken with Saws, had meetings with them, and just learned basically what they're having to deal with. And I know that, at Ken's 5, you guys have firsthand,
sure.
You get the photos. But they have been a great resource for us to learn what's happening underneath our city. We don't get to go down there.
Right.
And see,
Nor do we want to.
nor do we
Right.
want to. But they have been a great resource to tell us, what is happening kind of after the flush. And a lot of folks don't know. They think, well, I flushed it. It went down my toilet. It is flushable. And so Saws has really helped us kind of understand after the flush that these wipes, these wet wipes, and anything else flushed, if it gets past your toilet, it's going into the city's sewer systems. And wipes, the flushable and non-flushable, do not disintegrate as they need to in the natural environment of the San Antonio sewer systems, or any city sewer systems for that matter.
So how long have you had this product?
This is our 10-year anniversary.
Get out, really?
Yes.
How come we're just now hearing about it?
We found that it's because it's a new product category. We're having to explain the need a lot more than you would with any ordinary product, and so that's what we've been trying to do the past 10 years, is just develop this idea that, hey, there's this other thing that you can use, and out there typically there's dry toilet paper, there's wet wipes, and some folks use bidets. And this is another option to the ways to clean yourself after using the restroom. And so developing that new idea has taken a lot longer than we thought it would.
So let's go back 10 years. You're sitting around your kitchen table one evening. You come up with this idea. Did you think it would get to this point, to where you're like, this is really, we're making money with this thing?
I don't think so. We really just got into it thinking, great, we're developing, something that's going to solve our need And when we really got into our research, we realized millions of others were having very similar issues. So I thought we thought we're doing a great thing. We're going to be providing someone the next greatest innovation in the bathroom industry. Yeah. But I don't think that, at least for me, I didn't foresee the fact that it would be our full-time job, that we would have to quit our jobs as attorneys.
Are you serious? This is full-time now?
Mm-hmm.
It is, yes.
Well, it must be going pretty well.
It's going great. We're super excited. We still feel, there's times when we feel like we're growing crazily, and there's times where we still feel like a super small family-owned business, because it is just still Jessica and I. And so we feel like we've done a lot, but we have a long way to go to help, spread this idea that we came up with. And, we've definitely drank the Kool-Aid. We're all in. We think that this should be, on every toilet in the country and in public restrooms and everywhere. And so I think that led a lot to us saying, hey, we don't need to be attorneys anymore. We can hopefully do this full time.
So is it everywhere? You in all 50 states? You're outside of the country?
Yeah, we are, in the sense that it's on Amazon.
Yeah.
We do have customers in all 50 states, and we sell to Canada. We were selling in the UK for a while. We are still looking to get into retail, and so that's one of our big pushes in the next few years, is trying to get into grocery stores, so it's a lot easier for folks who don't want to shop online.
Yeah, well, you got HEB right here, so it's a start. Jessica, Brandon, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I got to read up on it. I got to learn more.
Thank y'all so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you.